J-Mac Sports 24/7. Thanks for coming to the channel. I'm J-Mac. I thought it was fitting by having a little Halloween theme playing in the background since it is Halloween, 31st October 2022. Cowboys, cut this down some. The Cowboys did it, didn't they? Back in second place. The Giants took an L. Those Washington Commodores, they took a W. And so did those filthy Eagles. They still rolling. Those Eagles are still rolling. I ain't mad at them. I ain't mad at the Eagles. They still rolling. But I am happy with the Cowboys, and I guess you cannot be have a complete happiness, if I can say that, or I'm really thrilled about the entire game. I hate the fact that we gave up so many yards on the ground, over 200 yards in rushing. I don't know what the exact number is, but I think it's pretty high. It's definitely over 200 yards, and I think it was Chicago Bears' third straight game setting an NFL record. I think with over 200 yards, 3 consecutive games. So I ran across a couple articles I want to share, but before I get into that, happy Halloween to you guys. I had a friend, a childhood friend, give me a call today and ask me a question regarding an incident that happened to, that was, I shouldn't say happened, that was posted somewhat on social media regarding one of the Philadelphia Eagles football players, your receiver, Brown, I think is his name, regarding a drug test or something. And I didn't know much about it, but I did kind of, in reading, may have seen something about it. But I couldn't really elaborate much because I just saw a glimpse of something regarding he being tested or a surprise test. So he called me because he assumed that I would have some knowledge on it because I do read some sports, a lot of sports, and I didn't read that. But I'm saying to say this. I appreciate him giving me a call, wanting to ask me, do I know anything about it? So, because he would heard through one of his friends or boys about it, who wanted to kind of rib him about it because he's a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and he wanted to kind of just rib him about one of the Eagles fans having some issues with NFL and maybe substance abuse or testing, whatever it may be. I really don't know I don't know if it's really true or not, but I did hear something. What I'm getting at is that, I do a lot of reading, especially on Twitter regarding sports and especially about the Cowboys, the Tar Heels, but most of the Cowboys, you hear a lot of fans. Some fans may not be as knowledgeable and want to know, have a question concerning the Dallas Cowboys or just sports in general, and just ask a general question. And all it takes is for somebody just, well, I don't know the answer, or if they know the answer, give the answer. But there's always some knucklehead that wants to ridicule the person who may not know or have that type of common knowledge. I might be more versed in a specific subject than someone else. And it don't have to be sports related. It could be anything. And I mean, yes, he has access, I'm sure, to the Google machine, as we all do. Most of us do, I should say. Able to get information off the internet. But he may not have the time to, or just for argument's sake, he may not know. Why not share knowledge if you have it? I don't understand how people will want to ridicule someone else. You may be more versed in something than others, and someone asks a general question, a specific question that you think that everyone should have knowledge on. And then you want to publicly, degrade them or be condescending in some way. I just don't understand that. You should always want to share I saw an excerpt from something that the late great Dean Smith had wrote. Dean Smith, those who may not know, was a former basketball coach of the University of North Carolina Tar Heels men's basketball team, and he was an innovator. But more importantly, he was an activist for the civil rights movement, and he was the first one to. North Carolina was the first ACC school to offer a full scholarship to a black player in the '60s. And so I think he may have actually met Dr. Martin Luther King, but he was an activist for the civil rights movement. He was a terrific basketball coach, but he was a better man because he was always. It was important for him to because he always felt he was like a second father to whoever student athlete that he had on his team. So it was important to him that he got to know the player, the person, and it was important that they graduate. And I think he finished his career like if it's 90, I'm going to low end 96%. 96% of his players graduated. I think it's right around 98, but it could be 96. So I'm going to low end. 96% of his players graduated with a degree, and some went on to pursue their degree. Some went into the NBA. So it spoke a lot about who he was a person. But one he left a lot of messages. But I read where someone was told by Dean Smith, you should always treat someone, talk to someone as if you may meet them again. I'm like, wow, that's deep. So, but I mean, we living in this divided country now. That's the way we live, the world we live in. Not just the country, but pretty much the world. And anti-Semitism is definitely on the rise. But I'm not going to really get into politics on this channel. But it just, yeah, you always want to treat someone as you would like to be treated. So I just want to start off, this evening with that message. And it's Halloween. So I'm sitting on my front porch. I went out and bought like $30 worth of candy, close to $30 worth of candy. And I guess it's the neighborhood I live in. I guess it's not many kids in the area, but it wasn't that many that came. My son and I sitting on the porch and the two rockers. I got the theme music playing outside and, ready for the kiddos to walk up and, take a handful of candy. But not many came, and I guess when I grew up, it's different. Halloween is so much different because I grew up in the projects, and we walked in the projects and outside of the projects, and I mean we walked got a decent bag of candy, but we walked with our friends in the neighborhood, and we walked with our family, our cousins, and so I guess one of my friends on Facebook. Said that was half the fun, walking with your friends, But I get it. Maybe the neighborhood that we live in, and also it is kind of raining tonight. But still, when it was raining, our freezing cold. In my day, we was really hitting the pavement going to get that candy, right? So I hope you had a lot of trick or treaters come to your door tonight, and I hope you was kind to them because you're only a kid once, and these are memories that kids. Can stay with them for a lifetime. You're an adult for more times on this planet than you're a kid for the most part. So let's get to football. When those Dallas Cowboys, we beat the Chicago Bears, and we beat them pretty good. However, just like a lot of the media is saying today, these Cowboy faithfuls, I didn't like the way our defense played, at least on our rushing defense. We gave up too many points on the ground. Too many yards on the ground. And, a lot of Cowboy fans, not to say a lot, but the other Cowboy fans think that Dak Prescott is not a starting quarterback or a middle or upper echelon quarterback because they say he chokes. And I think they used to say the same thing about Tony Romo. But if you really think about it, since Troy Aikman, hung up his jockstrap, When the last time the Dallas Cowboys had a really, really good defense that stopped teams from scoring? When was the last time the Dallas Cowboys had a really, really terrific defense that stopped teams from scoring? I don't remember any team that we've had that was a run stopper, and that parlays over into the playoffs. So when we did make the postseason, yeah, the quarterback is going to get a lot of flack if you don't win the postseason. However, our defense have given up a lot of points over the years. That's just the way it is. So I also thought about, okay, how many defensive coordinators have the Dallas Cowboys have had? And every single one have not been able to stop the run. That includes our current defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn. We cannot stop the run. We just cannot stop the run. We cannot win in the postseason and advance to the Super Bowl if we can't stop the run on money downs. That's what happened against the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a money down, and I think the momentum was in our favor if we had been able to stop them from scoring a touchdown. The propensity was that we was going to go, get the ball and march down and score again. But we never really had that opportunity because our defense from pillar to post, one end to the other, we gave up yards and it was a running touchdown. And we really like to blame the quarterback on our L's. And you don't usually, rarely do you find a quarterback that plays perfect football, 1,000% football in a game. I'm talking not a complete season. I'm talking about just a game. Rarely do you find that. I don't know if there's ever been a quarterback that played a perfect game from the first quarter to the fourth. I don't know. But there's going to be some miscues. There's going to be some mishaps. But because the Dallas Cowboys is the most visual team of all sports, and in the quarterback position is the most visual position of all positions. No matter who, Quincy Carter, Gary Hogaboom, Glenn Carano, I'm going way back of backup quarterbacks and some became starters. Names most people would never hear of until they played quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Once you're a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, you're going to get all the blessings and you're going to get all the ridicules. That's just the way it is. For any team, really, but playing quarterback. But for the Dallas Cowboys, oh, yeah. And I shouldn't say just the Dallas Cowboys, playing quarterback in the NFC East. Because right now there's a team over in Filthy, have a quarterback that now he's the best thing since sliced bread right now. Okay, but he's playing in the NFC East, and they're undefeated, and rightly so. He should be getting the props because they're undefeated. All right, but we're about to hit the second half of the season, and yeah, they do got a pretty much light schedule, so they probably can get up to like 12-0 by the time they play someone, right? I'm kind of digressing a little bit, but there was 7 plays that proved that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys offense is back. I read across this article by Lauren Barish, and I just want to read some parts of it, to you. If you remember Dak Prescott to CeeDee Lamb, that touchdown, it was 3rd and 9. Instead of going for the first down for an easier field goal, Kellen Moore and Prescott went for the kill. This pass had to be executed well in order to work, and it was. I think I remember that play. If this pass isn't perfectly executed, it could be a field goal or possibly even an interception. This was great work done by the duo. Yeah, that was a great pass. CeeDee Lamb did not disappoint this weekend, but is he that number one receiver? Do you see CeeDee Lamb as that number one receiver? Is he putting threats of fear in the hearts of cornerbacks and defensive coordinators? Then there was that impressive rush by Dak Prescott. In 2021, Prescott returned to the field after a gruesome ankle injury sustained in 2020. Because of that, he wasn't able to be as mobile as a quarterback as his first years in Dallas. During this past offseason, McCarthy was very clear that they were being safe with Prescott in his recovery. On yet another third down play, all of QB1 needed was 1 yard to continue to play. Instead, with the help of his offensive line, the 29-year-old was able to run up the gun for a massive gain. That was nice. That was a nice run. So I tweeted and also posted on Facebook. I don't know if I posted on Facebook, but I tweeted, Dak is back. I mean, Dak was on fire. Dak was on fire. Tony Pollard's first TD. In between his touchdowns, Pollard had several other impressive plays that led to his first downs or big gains. He was working all day and ending the matchup with 14 attempts and 131 yards on the ground, whopping 9.4 yards per carry. His first TD of the day was an 18-yard gain. Pollard found a hold and made a very good cut to get into the end zone, untouched. Expect to see his name more as the season progresses. Now, our offense looked really, really good with Tony Pollard starting as the quarterback. I had said Tony Pollard is a really good running back, but I don't see Tony Pollard a 3-down back in the National Football League for 17 games because of his size. If he may be able to get away with it for half a season if you're the full-time starter at running back. But I would like to be proven wrong. I would like to be proven wrong that Tony Pollard is not that back. Or is that back that can, withstand a pounding that the defensive line and linebackers and safeties is going to give you, Emmitt Smith was able to sustain and Zeke. Yeah, Zeke is not the Ohio State Zeke, when he came into the league in 2016, but he's a power back. We need Zeke in the red zone, and then there's on passing downs. Do you rather have Tony Pollard back there taking on that blitz or Zeke? So I think I know the answer to that. You won't Zeke, when there's a passing down and you need extra blockers back there. And so another reason why our offense is back, depth of our offense. We have decent depth. Malik Davis, Jason Ferguson helped shore up Dallas offense. And then, of course, I just spoke about the two running backs, the two-headed monster, Lightning and Thunder, Zeke and, Zeke didn't play in the game yesterday, but Tony Pollard, so we have Lightning, Thunder, Lightning. So this is where I think we have a problem on our offense. Oh, I want to mention that I was really happy about the offensive line with regard to pass blocking and definitely run blocking. But you didn't hear much of Tyron Smith's name called. If you don't hear name calling of a rookie, that's pretty good. I think he had probably one, either with a false start or was a holding. I can't remember what it was. So I'm really happy that our offense is back where it was last season. That's where we was putting up points. I think it's the first time all season long that we bust over 30 points in a game. We didn't do any of that. We close to that with Cooper Rush as our quarterback. Again, Cooper Rush was more of a game manager. And so I'm really happy to see that. But we got one side of the offense working, but not the other of our team working, but not our defense. We got a pass rush decent, but not the running game. I'm going to switch gears right quick and go with we need a trade. We need to get a trade right now. I think we're up against the deadline for someone. I had read a couple of weeks ago that maybe we was going to try to get Amari Cooper back. I haven't seen anything else since. That is where I think we need to, soar up on our offense. We need another wide receiver. I like our tight end core. Dalton Schultz is playing injured right now, but he's producing. But I just don't see CeeDee Lamb as the guy that Jerry Jones and probably others, our powers that be thought. They probably thought that CeeDee Lamb, like a lot of us, thought CeeDee Lamb was going to be the man. He was the eye candy for us. So I saw a quote that Jerry put out there regarding a trade. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said the team has received calls from other teams offering wide receiver help. And then he goes, we'll just see. We will see. He likes the 4 tight ends and what Jalen Tolbert has shown, Jalen Washington nearing return. And he goes, we don't have to do anything, but if it's right, we'll do something. So Jerry, I think I read a little further in the article, Jerry don't want to give the impression that the Dallas Cowboys are hunting or need something. He'd rather receive calls than make calls. I mean, Jerry is a businessman. I get that. I get it. But I wish that you would try to figure out to get Amari Cooper back right now because he worked really well with Dak and he knows the offense. He won't be missing a beat. And I mean, we're still within that small window to make that happen. So I really appreciate it if you guys, someone can leave a comment if you think Jerry should go after Amari Cooper. Definitely we need help on defense still. Our defensive line to stop the run. We go into offseason every year, and we know that we need help on defense. We know that we need run stoppers. We big bodies, and we don't get them in the draft. We never get a big body in the draft that can a run stopper. We just don't. I don't understand. We just don't. I will never understand that. There's so many teams in the NFL right now may not have the offense that we have, but they can stop teams from running the ball. We just cannot do that. We need help there. And then Larry Brown. What's his name? Forget his name. Not Diggs, but the other corner. I forget his name. I want to call him Larry Brown every time. We need help there. But more importantly, we definitely need to help in a run stopping up front. I was not pleased with Tank Lawrence. I made a comment on Facebook that I don't see Tank Lawrence as having a high IQ in football. I've always felt that way. He's talented. But he plays on the edge. He plays on the left defensive end, and he crashed inside too many times. That leads the quarterback to do a play action, roll out, bootleg to his side, right side, to the quarterback's right side, his left side, and there's no one there to contain either the quarterback or if there's a wide receiver in motion, going from left to right. And it's a fake inside, and Tank Lawrence always, crashing in. I think Randall Gregory had the same issue when he was playing on the right edge for the Cowboys when he was the Cowboys. Charles Haley didn't have that problem. Charles Haley, was a pain. I was told he was a pain in the locker room, but Charles Haley knew how to play. His football IQ was off the chart. So you could not run on Charles Haley, and you definitely could not pass on Charles Haley. Same for my favorite Cowboy of all time. And this is for you young guys who may not have never heard of this guy, number 79, Harvey Martin. He's my favorite Cowboy of all time. Harvey Martin was the man. You couldn't run on him. The right side, you could not run. You could not pass. And the reason why I think I know a little bit about the position because, why I did not play it in college. I did not play it when I was in the Marine Corps. I did play it, in Little League football. So I do know when you're playing the edge, your goal is to keep everything inside and go after the quarterback, when he's, stepping back to pass the ball. But for the most part, when that ball's hand off, you always have to go. You have to start out by with the mindset that it may come to your side as a running play. That's the first thing you got to do. That's the first thing as an edge rusher you got to understand. It's a possibility that ball could be ran to your side, and I don't see Tank Lawrence ever having that mindset. He just wants to go after the quarterback, or he's crashing in thinking that well, he recognizes that we need help up front in the middle. But that's not his job. That is not his job to do that. His job is to contain the left edge. That's what he needs to do. Go after the quarterback and maintain. Do not let anything get on you outside of your left shoulder. That is his job. That's how I feel. What do you think? As an edge rusher, when we're going up against those running quarterbacks like Justin Fields, like Jalen Hurts, and like Danny Dimes, and that's his bread and butter right there. That bootleg to the right, to the left, fake in, and we're gullible at that. We're so gullible, and I don't understand why Dan Quinn don't fix that. Maybe the defensive coordinators are afraid to ruffle feathers. I don't know. I don't get that, but I just don't get that. Again, I'm really glad we won the game, and then and some of our players, a lot of our players actually was inactive. I think, and so it's allowing the players. I think if it was a postseason game, a majority of the players would have participated, would have played, but playing the Chicago Bears, having a good feeling that we're going to win the game. Why risk it? Let some of these players, begin to start heal in the healing process. Then we on a bye, and then coming out of the bye, knowing what we know now, knowing that Dak is back. He had 2 full games. Oh man, Dak was on fire. That one play, right quick. That one play that he threw the interception. Initially, I thought that was Dak's fault. Because you get so wrapped up into your emotions and you're watching the game. And again, by default, we always want to say it's the quarterback's fault. And I don't watch film like a lot of other YouTubers do, which I think is pretty cool. Especially the young guys. That's sweet. That's cool that they can go and watch films and have the time to do that. I'm a family man. I can't have the time to do that. Plus, I have a daughter that has some special needs, and I need to tend to her. And she's a teenager. And I just, after I finish working, I just want to vegetate on something else other than, go pull up some film and try to do some film study, unless I was getting paid for it. So the young YouTubers out there, I commend you. Kudos to you. That's cool. That's sweet. I can dig it. But that one pass to CeeDee Lamb from Dak, I don't think it was Dak's fault now. After seeing it the second time, the replay of it, and then especially hearing Moose Johnson explain it, because, if anyone knows anything about football, it's somebody that played the game at a high level and won championships. When I say championships, I'm talking about Super Bowls, right? Moose Johnson, who paved the way for Emmitt Smith to become the highest rusher of all time, right? So Moose said that, okay, that wasn't Dak's fault. CeeDee Lamb need to go get that ball. And then I do recall on many occasions the playmaker, Michael Irvin, would say the same thing. It's his ball or nobody's ball. You go get that ball. And sometimes you have to have a small window where you're going to have some tight coverage. And the only thing it takes is for the receiver to go after the ball and to get that ball. So if you don't get that ball, then nobody else get that ball. And Dez Bryant was really good at that, okay? But definitely playmaker, made a name for himself with part of being able to do that. CeeDee Lamb did not do that yesterday. It's not going to always be where you need to be, and it may be all the where you need to be. However, you're playing against another professional who's a cornerback, and he may be playing at a high level, and so you may need to either go fight for that ball. Not maybe, you got to fight for that ball, and if you don't get it, no one gets the ball. Okay. Again, there are times that a quarterback may throw it. Maybe it's maybe too hard because the distance may be too short. And the receiver may not expect the ball to come that fast, But if it's hitting your hands, you can go get that ball. You go get that ball. You know, um, and so I don't that miscue of Dak. I don't call it miscue. That's CeeDee Lamb not being the number one receiver. That's what the number one receivers do. Is that Randy Moss? If you put it close to him, he's going for it. Okay, Randy Moss. Um, I'm just saying. So, I do you believe that that's Dak's fault for that pass? Because it was a spiral. It was a good ball. It was there. It was just tight coverage that and at times when you're playing at a high level football, you need to make those type of plays. You know, that's how you make ESPN top 10, a Sports Center top 10. You know, um, you got to make crazy plays like that. So yeah, I that wasn't Dak's fault. No, 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 no. Dak. So Dak played outstanding. Tony Pollard played outstanding, and yeah, Michael Parsons was held like a gazillion times, and I think sometimes the refs are starting to notice it, but he was held a lot. You know, number 11 from heaven was held an awful lot, but yeah, a lot of players at his level get held quite often. Um, so I think Dan Quinn got to find ways to use Michael Parson on the same side as Tank Lawrence and probably Armstrong, Dorrance Armstrong to um, create some sort of mismatch on the second half of coming out of the bye. So I'm really looking forward to how we're going to look when that happens. Um, one of the shows that I wanted to watch was Undisputed. The reason why I wanted to watch Undisputed was because that damn Skip Bayless. And I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I wrote something on Twitter last week and to Skip Bayless, and it wasn't. I guess I broke the rules and um, Twitter blocked my Twitter account. So it was J Max Sports 24/7. Now follow me on Twitter, J Max Sports 24/7 underscore. Okay, that's my new Twitter account, and I'm thinking about getting rid of that because the new owner of Twitter, I don't agree with some of his. I wish he could just leave politics out, and just we all leave politics out of certain things, and I just don't want to deal with the politics of Twitter. I just want to talk sports and you know whatever other people want to talk about other than politics, because something that's not divisive. Sports can be divisive in certain ways, but not where I want to go get me an AR-15 type of divisiveness. That's what politics is doing to people right now. I'm going to buy me an AR-15. You know, uh, Sports don't do that. you know, but so I wish we could stay with. But anyway, doing the 4-5 games of Cooper Rush and Cowboys going 4-1 under his um, time, Skip Bayless was throwing, Rain Dakota Prescott under the bus. And he will always, last season when Dak was tearing it up, putting up, uh, all those yards and touchdowns, he couldn't get off of riding Dak Prescott. And he was riding Dak like crazy. Skip Bayless, always saying the Cowboys is his team, my team, my team. But then, okay, and he forgot that Dak had an incredible season last year. But okay, I guess a lot of Cowboy faithfuls want to say that, well, we didn't win the playoff game because it was Dak's fault and we didn't give up any points. We still give up a lot of points, man. We really do. Especially when we shouldn't. We got to hold a team, to 3 and out. A lot of times we just can't do that, and so the end result is that we lose the game. Um, well, he was really riding Cooper Rush right now. And he was throwing Dak under the bus, and Cooper should go ahead and be the starting quarterback, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I knew when Dak got back, once he got back in form, again, he didn't play preseason, only played a part of the first game of the first season, and then came back, last week, against Detroit, and still didn't have his sea legs under him. And now look at him now. Boy, came out like that. Up. I mean, Dak was, everything was a spiral. It was coming, it was the velocity, timing. It was like he was running the ball. He was in command, commanding the offense, changing up the play. He's what you wanted. He's what you wanted, right? And so I knew what I Skip was, because he's a fair weather fan. Oh, he's a Dak Prescott man now. Dak Prescott is this guy now. Rain Dakota Prescott. So I just want to put this out. Just want you to just listen to, well, first of all, Shannon. I like Shannon Sharp's analysis on the Dallas Cowboys right now, and let me know if you agree with this.
Since y'all are going down this path, let's start Skip with your Cowboys. Let's get the Monday started off on the right foot for you. Skip's Cowboys improving to 6-2 yesterday after taking down the aforementioned Bears, as Shannon said. 49-29 was your score. They certainly covered as home favorites in Dallas. Dak had 250 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. Tony Pollard stepping in as a starter for an injured Zeke. He had an impressive 3-touchdown game. All right, Shannon, you first. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a threat are the Cowboys now to win the NFC and make it to the Super Bowl?
I give them a 7. They're really no power team. The Eagles looked really good yesterday, although they did go against an inferior team, and that's what I like to see. When you're the superior team, I like for you to pound the inferior team and leave no doubt. Don't let it come down to a field goal late in the ball game. Don't let it come down to a 4th down stop and you hold on to victory. You are the better team, and you dominate. The Cowboys were sensational yesterday, Skip. Dak was really good. He made the one mistake right before half, let the Bears get a cheap field goal right before the game. The Bears came out and made it a ball game for like a second, just for a brief second. And then the Cowboys stepped on the gas again because they were the superior team, and they ran away with the ball game. Dak had 284 total yards, threw the ball exceptionally well, as I said before, with minus the one mistake. 3 total touchdowns. Dallas scored on the first 4 possessions, Skip. They looked really good, had a 28-7 lead with 6:48 left in the first half. They were not very good. They were great on 3rd down, and the Cowboys are not usually a really good team on 3rd down. They were 28 of 87 on 3rd down coming into the game, 32%, and yesterday they connected on their first 6 attempts, went 9 of 11. Well, you go 9 of 11, you're probably going to win a lot of ball games. And that means you're staying on the field, and that means you're probably going to come away with a bunch of points. And what they did, scored more points. It was the first time they'd gone over 30 all season long, and they damn near hit half a century. So the Cowboys have to feel really good about where they are offensively. The only thing, Skip, again, run defense. You told me when they got the guy from the Raiders, they were going to shore that up. I couldn't tell they shored it up. Now, maybe you saw something that I didn't see yesterday, but you know the 2 teams that can cause them problems, what can both of them do? And now that the 49ers have C-Mac, a guy that can run it, hand it to him, they can throw it to him, and even if he needs to, he can throw it. You're going to be tough, and guess what? They can get after your quarterback. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're one of the top 5 running teams in all of football. They can run it. They can get after your quarterback, and their quarterback has dynamic legs. Jimmy G is not so much, and we saw the problems that Justin Fields called getting out of the pocket yesterday, Skip. But when I look at this team, I look at the Eagles at 7-0, 6-1, Vikings. I see the Seahawks are playing very, very. Geno Smith, kudos. Pete Carroll, the job that you've done, reassembling your culture, getting guys in there that want to be there. No agenda. The Falcons, I don't really see the Falcons. The Cowboys are 6-2, Giants 6-2, Niners 4-4. The really 2 teams, Skip, and it looks like you're probably going to have to go on the road, because we talked about the schedule for the Eagles. They might not lose the next 5 games.
Agreed.
they might be 12-0 before it's all said and done. So I'm going to say the Eagles.
Wait, who's the 13th game?
Oh, you got it. Oh, you got it. Oh, you got it. Oh, they got y'all. They got something for y'all. The way I saw A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts throwing the ball and throwing and catching yesterday, y'all in for it. Y'all in for it. And they can run the ball. I think, Skip, that's the thing that's concerning. You guys had it played really, really well. But for some reason, you can't stop the run. Now, I don't know if it's schematically. I don't know if it's fits. I don't know if guys are not being where they're supposed to be. But you can't give up 240 yards. You give up 240 yards in a playoff game, Skip, you're going home. You're going home. So I'm going to give them a 7. I still believe the Eagles and the 49ers now with C-Mac, y'all, you could possibly be in big trouble. And you're probably going to have to take your show on the road. Because there's only one bye now, and you're probably going to be the wild card. So that means you probably have to go if the Eagles will be at home. That means if you play the Eagles in the second week, you're probably going to go there. Or if you play the 49ers in the opening round, you're going to have to go there. And we know they can get after your quarterback and they can run the football. So I give you a 7. I think you're probably right now. I look at it, Skip. I think you're the third best team in the NFC right now.
Okay. My turn. I have a whole lot to say about what I saw yesterday. I'm going to get the bitter out of the way before I get to the sweet. I told you on Friday I feared the Bears because we cannot stop the run.
Right.
I told you that because the Bears had run for 243 on Belichick at Belichick, even on a short week, the running game will travel right to Dallas, and it traveled right down our throats for much of the day because they almost equaled what they did at Belichick, 240 to 243. And I feared they would control the ball and the clock, and they did. They had the ball for 38 minutes to our 24 minutes.
Well, the problem that what you did really well is that you got ahead of them.
We got ahead, and every time we got in the red zone, we cashed. We went 4 for 4, and we went 9 of 11 on third down, and that saved the day.
Ball games.
Biggest takeaway from yesterday, Dak Prescott played the best game I have seen him play since opening Thursday night, September 9th of last season. Not this season, but last season, all the way back to at Tampa against the GOAT when the GOAT goated us and walked off with a 31-29 field goal victory.
Yep.
Best game I've seen Dak play. Okay, now a little more bitter was sweet. Here we go again. What happened last year? Exactly right now to my Dallas Cowboys. What happened? We were 6-1, and guess who was coming to town? Your Denver Broncos. And what happened? 30-0 happened after 3 quarters. Going into the fourth quarter, we trailed 30-0, and Dak empty-caloried at the end to get it back to 30-16. And we proceeded to lose 3 out of 4 games, and we never got it back.
Well, you got to buy this week. So
I'm just saying, we're 6-2 now, as opposed to 6-1 last year, right at this point in the schedule. And yet, here came Denver, and then, we got to go to Kansas City, and then, here come the Raiders on Thanksgiving. We lost 3 out of 4. Dak was awful. He was pathetic. He stunk down the stretch, and we never got it really rolling back again. And here came the 49ers, and he stunk again against the 49ers. So today, right here, right now, I am calling out Rain Dakota Prescott. It is time to do what you did not do last year. Loved you yesterday. Loved you, man. Loved everything about what happened yesterday because it was a tour de force of what my team can be, should be, maybe will be. I'm going to give my team a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10 as how I see this team's possibilities of getting to its first NFC Championship game in 27 years. I cannot believe those words just came out of my mouth. 27 years since we got to an NFC Championship game, but I love the makings of what we can be in an NFC that feels like it's the least this year. Not the NFC East. It's like the whole NFC is the least. It is begging to be won by somebody.
Right.
And I know we're going to talk about this later. C-Mac, baby, in San Francisco.
Okay. All right. If you're just joining just recently, I got the Halloween thing going in the background because it's Halloween. It's pretty cool. Third down. Dallas was atrocious in third down conversions up until yesterday. I said that we need to sort up our third down third down conversions. We needed to stop the run, and we need to absorb those penalties. Those three things right there, and we did 2 of the 3. We didn't get penalized that much, and we didn't. And we had a high conversion rate on third down. But that Russian defense is just atrocious. It's just. I don't know, as Shannon Sharp said, it's schematically that we just don't do it well, because think about this. We have had several defensive coordinators. Wade Wilson, Dan Quinn. We had a bunch. My pen here. We had a bunch of defensive coordinators. We can never stop the run. Is it? We have skilled players. We just can't. Is it? But we never had the big bodies up the center, up the middle. We just never had a big body. We just don't. Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. We just never. It's something they don't look for in the draft. Our free agency, we just don't get the big bodies to run stoppers. You know. The last really good tackle that we had, Russell Maryland. Again, he was on the 90s team. So Shannon has the Eagles, the 49ers, and the Cowboys from the NFC. Right now, I guess I have to agree with that. I mean, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan like you are. Eagles have to be number 1 because they're undefeated, and they beat the Dallas Cowboys. 49ers just improved with McCaffrey, acquiring him. So, yeah, I would have to say right now, you know, as it stands going into the bye, we're the third best team coming out of the conference. So I have to agree with that assessment. And the last comment that Skip Bayless made about Rain Dakota Prescott and the empty calories, he liked to call it, Dak put up a lot of numbers last season because he was down a lot of games. And there are games that, yeah, Dak did not look well, but the defense gave a lot of points. So if we have to come back, if we have to put 25, 30 points on the board more, that means we gave up a lot of points. We gave up a lot of points. Dak don't play on defense, people. Dak does not play on defense. And we got to recognize that. And so we're going into the bye, get ready for the second half of the season for the Cowboys. I think it's a good time for a bye, too. Please like, share, and subscribe, comment. I appreciate the guys that who have subscribed and who given me your opinions, your comments on what you think of the Dallas Cowboys right now. And so thank you for the support. Peace. 2 fingers.